Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the After Hours Seabase informational session for our St. Thomas programs. This is part of a series of informational sessions we're holding for our 2024 Seabase cruise. You'll notice that some details in each presentation will vary, and it's true. We do our best to standardize as much as possible, but Seabase's high adventure programs are operated from 4 amazing and different locations and consist of 18 different programs with some varied operational requirements. We operate out of 2 locations in the Florida Keys, our main Seabase location right here in Almirada, Florida, and the Britain Environmental Center in Summerland Key. We also operate in St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands and the Abaco Islands in the Bahamas. Our directors each also have differing perspectives about what is the most important to review for preparation. When communicating with Seabase or reviewing requirements, it's important to know the program your unit is registered for. We have a staff member monitoring the comment section of this live event, so if any questions arise as you watch, type them in the comment section. It will take about 5 minutes after the presentation to answer some of the questions out loud. Presentations will be recorded and published to the Seabase website within 2 to 3 business days, along with PowerPoint slides. This presentation will review requirements and recommendations for the following Seabase High Adventure programs: St. Thomas 6 to 8 and St. Thomas 10 to 12. Without further ado, here's the presentation for our St. Thomas programs.
Hello, Scouts and Scouters, gearing up for your upcoming 2024 Seabase St. Thomas High Adventure. My name is Captain Alex. I am the Senior Captain and Program Coordinator here at Seabase St. Thomas. I'm logging in from the Virgin Islands to go over some information about your upcoming high adventure to better prepare you and your crew for the voyage before you set sail. To do that, I've put together this little bit of a slideshow, so let's check that out right now together. Here at Seabase St. Thomas, we have 2 different voyages our crews can embark on. One is cruise of 6 to 8, setting sail on a 40 to 45 foot sailboat sailing around the Virgin Islands for 5 nights. Also, we've got larger vessels going out with crews of 10 to 12 sailing around the Virgin Islands for 5 nights. As far as eligibility goes, Scouts participating in the program must be registered members of the BSA. You must have completed your BSA swim test and have the classification of swimmer. Scouts must be at least 13 years of age to participate in Seabase St. Thomas, and you must be medically approved to participate. For our adult leaders coming down, you must be a registered member of the BSA. You must have completed your BSA swim test with the classification of swimmer. You must be medically approved to participate, and you must have completed the following training certificates: YPT, Safe Swim Defense, Safety Afloat, Hazardous Weather, and 1 adult must have completed Wilderness First Aid training, and another adult must have completed the CPR and AED training. Adult leaders must be 21 years of age or older. We love our paperwork here at Seabase, so at a glance by crew, what you're going to need is to submit your crew roster at least 90 days prior to arrival. Make sure before you arrive you have your pre-event medical screening taken care of. This should be filled out just prior to departing for Seabase. Make sure your crew members all have their vessel liability waivers completed. You can have the parents sign for the use prior to departing. Make sure everybody has completed their swim test and has their swim classification as swimmer. Make sure everyone has their medical forms filled out, completed, signed, and dated by a doctor. And for you adults, make sure that one of the adult leaders has a CPR and AED certification. One adult leader must have a wilderness aid certification or greater. An EMT or doctor can trump the wilderness first aid training. Each adult leader must have YPT, Safe Swim Defense, Safety Afloat, and Hazardous Weather. These are all very easy to get. Just log on to myscouting.org. Common mistakes on the medical form. This is a good one to pay attention for us adults that are getting all of their paperwork ready for Seabase this summer. Especially on Part A, make sure that the parent or guardian has signed for the participant in the middle box there. On Part C, the most common issue we had last season was participants coming down and not having Part C signed or dated by a doctor. Make sure and double check that the doctor completing the physical has signed and dated the Part C of the medical form. Seabase St. Thomas is a pretty exciting adventure. How the trip works is on the day of your arrival, you're going to check in at 1 o'clock with the Seabase staff, Sapphire Marina. You're going to meet the Seabase staff in the marina parking lot. You're going to receive your vessel assignment. We're going to go over your paperwork. You're going to head down to your vessel, get a before photo of the crew. You'll do your safety orientation, and then your vessel is going to depart. You will spend the first afternoon learning the vessel, the rules. You're going to do a swim test. and then you'll dive in for some snorkeling. The next several days, you and your crew are going to be under the supervision of your captain, sailing, hiking, and snorkeling the U.S. Virgin Islands by sailboat, potentially circumnavigating the island of St. John and visiting many other islands along the way. On the final day of your trip, on the day of departure, your vessel will return to the dock between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. Your crew will then clean the vessel. You'll have time for some dock showers, and then checkout is at 11:45. There is a lot to do here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Sailing around St. John and the St. John National Park is absolutely amazing. There are many beautiful harbors, beautiful spots to go snorkeling. There's beautiful wind down here in the Virgin Islands. Adventure awaits you in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You can hike, snorkel, you can sail. Every day is a little bit different depending on what the scouts want to do. So we get this question all the time. What's the route? What's the itinerary? Well, here at Sea Base St. Thomas, there is no set itinerary. This is a scout-led voyage. So it's up to the scouts, under the direction of the captain, to decide on what route you end up taking throughout the week. This photo right here is an example of a route that a boat took a few years ago. Typically, you're going to be sailing around St. John and visiting other islands along the way. One of the first things you're going to do when you get on your boat is your crew will plan a route through the U.S. Virgin Islands. You're going to have opportunities to hike, snorkel, and sail every single day. The crew will be simultaneously circumnavigating the island of St. John, exploring the national park, and visiting other Virgin Islands along the way. It's going to be a good time. And what can you do to prepare for Sea Base? That is an excellent question to ask. So, you're going to be swimming almost every single day at Sea Base St. Thomas. So make sure you practice your swimming at the pool. Practice with your snorkel equipment. Test and practice with your personal snorkel and mask. You can practice at the pool to gain confidence before coming to Sea Base. Another thing you and your crew can do to help prepare yourselves for Sea Base St. Thomas is familiarize yourselves with the current participant guide. There is 10 years worth of feedback in that guide. That is going to be an excellent resource for you and your crew to go over to make sure you guys are set up for success. The packing list. So, what you should be bringing along on your Sea Base High Adventure is 2 long sleeve shirts, a wide brim hat, a buff, reef safe sunscreen. Don't bring spray sunscreen. A pair of regular shorts, a set of proper swim attire, 2 pairs of regular socks, a pair of light pants, 1 pair of sandals, 1 pair of jogging or hiking shorts, your government issued photo ID, and copy of your birth certificate or passport. Make sure you bring a little bit like a rain fly, a light rain jacket. We do get rained on from time to time. Bring your polarized sunglasses. Bring a wide mouth plastic water bottle with a plastic carabiner. Bring your toiletry kit, a headlamp, 2 towels. Bring a lightweight sleeping pad or inflatable sleeping pad. Bring a lightweight sleeping cover, a sheet, a light blanket. That will all work. A small pillow. Make sure you bring some spending money, $200 to $250 in case you need it. Be sure to bring any prescription medication you may have. We do recommend scouts and scouters coming down, bring a pair of neoprene socks in case the fins chafe on your feet. We do recommend bringing a waterproof camera and also a solar charger for your camera or cell phone. And it's not on the list, but make sure you or your mother packs your underwear too. That's something you normally bring. For the crew packing list, make sure for your paperwork that you have your medical forms completed for each participant. Wilderness first aid and CPR training cards. Safe swim defense training copies for all adult participants. Safety afloat training copies for all adult participants. Your BSA youth protection training. Your swim classifications. Your front and back copies of your insurance cards. Make sure your crew brings a first aid kit. Crews of 6 to 8 will be able to bring 1 large dry bag. Crews of 10 to 12 will bring 2 medium or 1 large size dry bag as well. So we'll get into some frequently asked questions here. How should I pack all my stuff? Sea Base St. Thomas has no on-site storage, so all personal gear must fit into an approximately 20 to 24-inch style duffel bag. Crews of 6 to 8 may bring 1 large duffel bag for the crew, and crews of 10 to 12 may bring 2 large duffel bags. For miscellaneous stuff like your first aid kit, snorkel gear, all that kind of stuff will fit in those larger crew bags. What mask and snorkel should I bring? Good question. You can purchase a mask and snorkel from the Sea Base ship store online, or go to your local dive shop, or even Walmart. Anything that you are comfortable in will work. Just make sure you do not bring a full face mask. They are not permitted at Sea Base. Should I bring fishing gear? Sea Base will provide all the fishing gear you will need. We've got trolling rods, hand lines, some lobster nets, lobster tipplers. We've got everything you need on board. Should I bring a water bottle? Of course you should. You should bring a Nalgene-style reusable water bottle. Please do not bring metal water bottles, and that's because when they're hanging on the lifelines at nighttime, they'll be banging into each other and they will keep you up all night. What kind of shoes should I bring? Any type of strap-on sandal or tennis shoe is recommended for the hikes in the St. John National Park. Flip-flops are not recommended for hiking. Let's get into some more questions here. Questions about life on board. Will there be coffee? There is coffee aboard. Will I be able to charge my phone? That is not guaranteed. The suggestion is to keep your phone in airplane mode and only use it for pictures. Bring a solar charger or battery backup if you're concerned about charging your phone. Will there be power on the boat for me to plug in my CPAP machine? Another excellent question. That is not guaranteed. The suggestion is to bring a battery backup for your CPAP machine that can hold charge all week. What are the sleeping arrangements like? Well, most crews choose to sleep on deck. As such, a backpacking-style sleeping pad and light blanket or sheet are suggested. Sleeping on deck is the best way to go here in the Caribbean. Down below, it's a little hot and stuffy. There's not much ventilation. Up on deck, it's beautiful, breezy. Sometimes you get a little bit of rain. What happens then? Well, you get a little wet, or everyone goes down below. And you might wake up that morning and feel a little cranky, but that is just part of the high adventure. Some questions on travel to and from Seabase St. Thomas. Can we check into Seabase after 1 p.m.? Of course. You can check in between 1 and 5 p.m. That will allow your crew to depart and set sail the day of your arrival. Crews that check in after 5 p.m., you will have to spend the first night aboard the vessel in the marina because there won't be enough time for your vessel to get to a safe harbor before it gets dark. When should we arrive at the St. Thomas Airport to fly home? The SeaWorld E. King Airport can be very busy with departing visitors, resulting in long lines. You should arrive at the airport 2.5 to 3 hours before your flight to make sure you don't have any issues getting on the airplane. What is required for travel to and from the U.S. Virgin Islands? For each traveler to clear customs, a government ID and a copy of the traveler's birth certificate will suffice. Otherwise, they may use a passport or passport card to clear customs. Why do we have to clear customs to re-enter the U.S.? I thought we were in America. Well, the U.S. Virgin Islands is a U.S. territory. However, it is duty-free. So all travelers must clear customs to re-enter the continental U.S. The St. Thomas Seabase staff and captains look forward to sailing with your crew this summer. Please contact us anytime if you come up with any more questions at seabase.st.thomas@gmail.com, or you can contact Seabase St. Thomas at 305-998-9315. Let's go sailing soon.
Thank you for listening to our St. Thomas presentation. For those of you that are just joining us, we're talking all things St. Thomas. We're going to go over some of your questions and comments that you put into the chat and answer those. And then we'll talk a little bit more at the end of the comment section about preparing for Seabase. First question, can we use only a single 24-inch duffel bag for each scout, or can scouts also bring a backpack of some sort? One of the things that Alex mentioned is everything that travels with you to St. Thomas will travel aboard your vessel. We do not have any storage. So it's very important that you limit the items to necessary to bring only. The more items you bring, the less sleeping area you're going to have aboard the boat. The more items you bring, the less walking area you're going to have around the boat. So you really need to look at the 24-inch duffel bag, and then for crews, bringing a large collapsible duffel bag that can be wrapped up into a pillow or stowed away fairly easily. Do not bring any hard-side luggage, and do not bring more than you might need for the adventure, because again, everything will be traveling with you. What type of sleeping cover is recommended? Many of our individuals choose to use a sleeping bag insert rather than an actual sleeping bag. I will say that at times it does get a little chilly in the U.S. Virgin Islands because of the trade winds. So the wind is going to blow 13, 15, 18 knots on a daily basis, especially at night. So those of you that are prone to get cold might want a lightweight sleeping bag. The rest of you, probably a sleeping bag insert is going to work for you. Next question, can we arrive after 1 p.m.? The answer to that is absolutely yes. Flight schedules to get into the U.S. Virgin Islands can be difficult. Many of our crews choose to arrive a day early, stay somewhere on island, and they arrive at 1 o'clock. We want you to arrive as close to 1 o'clock as possible because we want to maximize your adventure. The earlier you arrive, the quicker that we can get you aboard a vessel. So if you are arriving late, just give us a call on site, and we will make sure that we accommodate your schedule, because we do understand that flights can be difficult. If you're running late, please give us a call and we'll make sure that we adjust our schedule to meet yours. Next question. Is the Prevent medical screening different than Form C? Will this be provided in advance? So you must fill out the BSA AHMR as you would at any scout camp. You can find that form anywhere on our website. It's in several different locations. It's also in your participant guide. So make sure that you go through every individual's medical form. Make sure that they're completely filled out. It is going to be very difficult for us to find a physician in the area that will work on your time schedule in order for you to get a physical once you get on site. So do not travel unless you've looked at every single individual's medical forms to ensure that they're completely filled out. Next question. What is a buff? Great question. That's one of the things that Alex mentioned. A buff is essentially sun coverage. Those of you that saw the bandana-like items during COVID that wrapped around your face but didn't require to be tied, those are a buff. Living in the Florida Keys and working in the Bahamas and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and being married to a nurse that has spent most of her career on the cancer floor, we highly recommend, as do most medical professionals, that you cover up as much as you can while you're on your adventures. So a buff is a way for you to wear a facial covering that will cover your nose and ears, which are two areas that are often burnt, right under your nose here and then right on the back of your ears. We want to make sure that you're as healthy and safe as possible during your trip. Our primary concerns that are raised in the Bahamas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and certainly in our sailing programs is sunburn, right, and types of sun sickness. So we want to make sure that you're taken care of. So bring a buff, bring a hat, make sure you wear polarized sunglasses, cover up whenever you can. Don't try to get a suntan while you're on your trip. You will get one automatically, right? Being out in the sun, being aboard the boat, you're going to get a suntan while you're here with us. We don't want you sunbathing, because we have found that individuals who get a sunburn at the beginning of the week are more prone to motion sickness. They're more prone to becoming dehydrated. They're more likely to be pulled off of their boat. So we want to make sure that you have a great adventure, that you have a safe adventure, and do that by covering up and taking care of yourself. And that includes hydration as well. Make sure that you're hydrating on a consistent basis. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water on your trips, both on the hikes and then also while snorkeling. Many times you won't find that you're extremely thirsty, but the reality is you're out using muscles that you don't typically use in an everyday setting. So it's important that you do hydrate as much as possible. Are you allowed to take pictures on your phone? Great question. You are allowed to take photos on your phone. However, we want all phones to go away as quickly as they can. What we find through experience of serving 15 to 19,000 individuals every year is the crews that spend time on their phones are the ones that miss their adventure. They don't have the opportunity really to get into the adventure, to take part in the adventure, because they're playing games, they're on social media, They're interacting with their email and talking to folks back home. So really, they miss out on an awful lot. It's our goal at CBASE to make a profound difference in the lives of the young men and women we serve. We can only do that if they can be in the moment. The more they're on their phone, the less they are in the moment. And adult leaders, you really set the precedence. Right? If you're on your phone throughout the course of your of the adventure, the young people in your crew will be on their phones during the course of the adventure. So we're going to ask that you put your phones away as much as possible, and stow those below, and really seize the opportunity to set sail in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Next question. Looks like that is all the questions for tonight. Again, this presentation is being recorded and it'll be posted along with PowerPoint slides on our website in the next 2 to 3 business days. We will notify the primary contacts for your unit to let them know that it is posted on the website. If you have additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out, either via email or phone. I will say that we have a very lean staff. We have very few individuals that are answering all the questions for the Bahamas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Florida Keys. As you can imagine, that's quite a daunting task at times. So we're going to ask that you communicate through your crew leader, the adult in charge of the adventure, and have your crew leader contact us with all of the questions that you have, so that we can answer those and get the question, or so we can answer those and get you the information you need to be successful. Please don't, however, have each individual parent from the crew reach out to us, because it'll be very difficult to answer your questions in a timely manner. So let's talk about how you contact us. First, you can go to our website, www.bsacbase.org, or you can go to our general email address, which is cbase.events@scouting.org. Or our main line is 305-664-4173, 305-664-4173. Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to serving you in the U.S. Virgin Islands.